Benji Flores stood at the entrance of the great alien space station, Arian 12. It was bigger than anything he had ever seen. Tall towers floated in the air, glowing softly in blue, purple, and gold. Strange flying machines zipped through the skies like bees. The floor under his feet wasn't solid. It felt like walking on jelly, but it supported him just fine. Benji was Earth's first official visitor to the Galactic Union. Humanity had only joined the Union 3 months ago. Many still didn't believe aliens were real, but here Benji was, carrying a silver suitcase and a nervous smile. He reached the Customs and Welcome Center, where a line of beings from different planets waited their turn. Some had wings, others had shells, and one even looked like a talking cloud. Benji adjusted his tie and stepped forward. "Next, please," a robotic voice said. He walked up to the customs desk. Behind the counter sat an alien with green skin, 4 eyes, and 3 fingers on each hand. It wore a simple uniform and glasses that kept slipping down its flat nose. Benji handed over his ID card and papers. The alien scanned them, then looked up. There was a pause. Then the alien leaned closer and spoke in perfect English. "You can't have forgotten me. I'm your high school friend." Benji blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" The alien smiled wider, showing tiny square teeth. "Jefferson High School, Earth. Remember me?" "It's me, Zoran." Benji stared. "You're saying we went to school together?" Zoran nodded eagerly. "Sophomore and junior year. You sat 2 rows behind me in history class. You once lent me a pen, and we both got detention that one. Time for turning the vending machine upside down." Benji's mouth dropped open. "That did happen, but how could you be there? You're an alien." Zoran laughed. "Yes, I was part of the early alien exchange program. A few of us came to Earth in disguise. I wore a human biosuit, looked just like everyone else, short hair, big ears, kind of skinny." "Ring a bell?" Benji tried to think. His mind raced. He did remember a quiet boy who joined in the middle of the year. The boy didn't talk much. He always brought strange lunches. He once hummed a tune that made the lights flicker. "That might have been you," Benji said slowly. Zoran clapped his hands together. "Yes, I knew you'd remember." Benji still couldn't believe it. "You work here now?" "I do. I'm in charge of Earth arrivals. I asked for this job just in case someone like you came." "I've waited a long time." Benji smiled awkwardly. "Wow, this is unexpected." Zoran reached under the desk and pulled out an old book. It was Earth Style, a high school yearbook. He opened it and pointed. "There. That's me. Look, I'm in the back near the chess club photo. Blurry, I know, but that was me." Benji leaned in. The photo was fuzzy, but there was a tall boy in the background wearing a hoodie that said, "Don't panic, it's just chemistry." Benji remembered that hoodie. Kind of. Zoran sighed. "I know it's hard to believe, but those were the best 2 years of my life. Earth was amazing. The music, the food, the people. I still listen to your planet's music every day." Benji chuckled. "What kind of music?" Zoran's eyes lit up. "Old pop songs, the silly kind. And I learned. Guitar! You play guitar?" "Yes. I even wrote a song about cafeteria pizza." Benji laughed for real now. "That does sound like high school." Zoran's voice softened. "You were kind to me, Benji. I didn't have many friends. Most people didn't even notice me. But you did. You helped me with homework. You shared your fries. That meant a lot." Benji looked at the alien, really looked this time, and somewhere, deep in his memory, a blurry image came up. 2 boys sitting on school steps, one handing the other a notebook full of strange symbols. "I think I do remember you," Benji said. Zoran's eyes shimmered. "I hoped you would." There was a small beep. Zoran glanced at his screen. "Oh, you're officially cleared for entry. Here's your visitor badge and a guide device. It'll help you understand languages and maps. Benji took the items. Thanks, Zoran. This is all a lot. Zoran nodded. Yes, but I'd like to show you something if you have time. Benji tilted his head. What is it? A project I've been working on since I left Earth. Something important. Something we started back in high school but never finished. Benji raised an eyebrow. Really? What kind of project? Zoran just smiled. Come by my place tonight. I live in Section 9, Unit 27. I'll explain everything. You'll like it, I promise. Benji hesitated. But deep down, he was curious. Something about Zoran felt familiar, even if the memory was faint. All right, Benji said. I'll come. Zoran beamed. Great! I'll make cafeteria-style pizza. As Benji walked away from the customs area, his mind buzzed with questions. He had come here to represent humanity. He expected aliens, technology, and new worlds. He didn't expect to find a piece of his own past, an alien who once sat beside him in math class, and he definitely didn't expect cafeteria pizza. But somehow, it felt like this was just the beginning. He sat on the soft alien bed inside his guest room on Aryan 12, staring at the ceiling, which slowly changed colors like a calm sky. He had traveled light years from Earth to join the Galactic Union, but somehow, the biggest surprise wasn't aliens, or flying cities, or talking plants. It was Zoran, the customs officer who claimed to be his high school friend. I'm your friend from Jefferson High, the alien had said. Benji still couldn't believe it. The memory of high school was fuzzy. He remembered books, lockers, cold pizza, boring, classes, and a quiet kid named Zach Ryan who came in the middle of the year. Zach didn't talk much, always wore a hoodie, and brought the strangest lunches, purple rice, glowing fruit, and once a sandwich that steamed like it was alive. Benji remembered one day when he had shared fries with Zach after gym class. Could that really have been Zoran? He grabbed his earth pad and searched for anything about Jefferson High's past. After some scrolling, he found something unusual. It was a news article from 15 years ago, buried deep in the old files. Alien exchange program ends quietly. A small and secret exchange program between Earth and the Galactic Union has ended. A few alien students had been sent to live on Earth using special disguises. No further details were shared. Global News Net Benji sat up straight. It was real, he whispered. He read the article twice, then leaned back, thinking. So Zoran, once called Zach, had really gone to high school on Earth, hidden in a human body. And now he worked in alien customs, wearing glasses and still remembering Earth food? Benji smiled a little. It was strange, but also kind of heartwarming. The next evening, Benji followed the guide device on his wrist and made his way to Section 9, Unit 27, just as Zoran had asked. The door slid open before he could knock. Benji! Zoran said happily. Come in. I made something special. Inside, the apartment looked surprisingly human. There were posters of Earth movies on the wall, old ones like Back to the Future and Jurassic Park. A lava lamp glowed in the corner, and the air smelled like cafeteria pizza. I tried to recreate the pizza from Jefferson High, Zoran said. I used Earth ingredients and some Velmorian spices. Don't worry, it's safe for humans. Benji laughed. This is insane. I feel like I walked into a time machine. They sat at a round table, and Zoran served 2 slices of odd-looking pizza. It was hot, cheesy, and slightly sweet. Benji took a bite. It was surprisingly good. Tastes like old memories, Benji said. Zoran smiled proudly. That's the goal. After a few minutes of small talk, Zoran stood and went to a shelf. He returned with a dusty, thick book. Do you know what this is? He asked. Benji looked closely. It was a Jefferson High School yearbook. You have a yearbook? From Earth? I took it with me when I left, Zoran said. It was the only thing they allowed me to keep. He opened it and flipped to the back. There, on a slightly faded page, was a photo of the chess club. In the corner of the picture was a tall, skinny boy in a hoodie. His face was blurry, but he looked familiar. That was me, Zoran said quietly. Benji leaned in. I think I remember this. You always sat alone near the window. Yes. I watched the trees move in the wind. We don't have trees like that on my planet. Zoran turned the page again. This time there were two names written in messy handwriting. Zach and Benji. Band coming soon. Benji laughed. Did we really write this? Zoran nodded. During lunch. You said we should start a band after school and I believed you. Benji shook his head. I don't even play an instrument anymore. You did then, Zoran said. You used to play guitar. I still have the notebook where we wrote lyrics. He walked over to a drawer and pulled out a small red notebook. It had stickers from Earth all over the cover, stars, dinosaurs, a cartoon pizza. Benji opened it. Inside were simple lyrics. Even if I leave, I'll still hum your name, even far from Earth. It won't feel the same. So don't forget the stars we saw, and write to me when skies are raw. Zoran watched him closely. Do you remember writing that? Benji ran his fingers across the words. Slowly, the memory came back. A rainy day. Two boys sitting near the music room, sharing fries and talking about dreams. I think I do, Benji whispered. You really kept all this? Zoran nodded. Earth changed me. I was supposed to go back to Velmora and forget everything, but I couldn't. I kept the memories, the music, the food, everything. Benji looked around the apartment again. The posters, the pizza, the music player that was playing soft Earth songs. You built a little Earth here, Benji said. I did, Zoran replied. But something was missing. A friend. Benji smiled. Well, you found one again. Zoran's face lit up. Would you help me finish the song we started? Benji looked at the notebook again. Why not? But we'll need more fries. Zoran laughed, a light and musical sound. I can make fries too, he said, extra crispy. As they sat together, writing and laughing, Benji realized something important. Zoran hadn't just come to Earth to study humans. He had come to feel what being human meant, and somehow, across space and time, that feeling had brought them back together. A promise made in a school hallway was finally being kept, not with fame or glory, but with music, friendship, and a plate of cafeteria-style fries. And maybe, just maybe, that was what made humanity special in the 8 stars. The next morning, Benji walked through the wide halls of Aryan 12, still thinking about Zoran and the strange news article he found. The article said that long ago, a few aliens had come to Earth under a secret program called the Alien Exchange. They were sent to human schools wearing special human suits to learn about Earth's culture and people. After 2 years, the program was stopped. No reason was given. Benji couldn't believe it. All this time, he had gone to school with a real alien, and now that alien was standing behind a customs desk, wearing glasses and offering him cafeteria pizza. He checked the map on his guide device and followed the directions to Section 9, Unit 27. When he arrived, Zoran was already waiting by the door. He wore a cooking apron with the words, Pizza Love, in bright red letters. Benji, you came! Zoran smiled. Benji smiled back. I said I would. Zoran led him inside. The room was warm and cozy. Posters of Earth music bands hung. On the walls. On a table sat a guitar with extra strings, made from both wood and something that looked like crystal. The smell of pizza filled the air. You actually made cafeteria pizza, Benji said, laughing. Of course, Zoran said, proudly. I even copied the smell from the old-school kitchen. Took me years to get it right. They sat down and ate. The pizza tasted strange but familiar. a mix of cheese, tomato, and something slightly sweet. "So," Benji said, "tell me the whole story. How did you end up in my school?" Zoran leaned back and began. "I was born on a quiet planet called Velmora, part of the outer zone of the Union. When I was 10, our scientists started watching Earth from afar. They said humans were interesting, funny, loud, emotional. So, the Union created a small program to let a few alien kids live on Earth." "You mean without anyone knowing?" Benji asked. "Yes. We wore special human suits, created by bioengineers. We looked, smelled, and sounded human. I was given a fake name. Zach Ryan. That was me." Benji suddenly remembered. "Zach, I do remember you now. You always brought your own lunch, and you once sang a song in music class that made everyone stop and stare." Zoran smiled wide. "That was me. I loved Earth music. It made me feel things I didn't have words for. On Velmora, emotions are quiet. But Earth? Everything is loud and bright. I loved it." Benji nodded slowly. "Why did the program stop?" Zoran's smile faded. "The Union got scared. They thought Earth's emotions were dangerous, that if alien kids learned too much, they might not want to come back. Some didn't." "Did you want to stay?" Benji asked. Zoran looked at him. "Yes, so badly. I had friends. I had dreams. I wanted to join a band, play music, eat pancakes every Sunday. But then one day, they pulled me out. Just like that. I didn't even get to say goodbye." Benji felt a strange ache in his chest. "I never knew. You just disappeared." Zoran stood and walked to a shelf. He pulled out a dusty notebook and gave it to Benji. It was filled with music notes, Earth-style lyrics, and strange symbols. One page had a song titled, "Don't Forget." "The Stars." "We started writing that together," Zoran said softly. "You gave me the first line. Even if I leave, I'll still hum your name." I added the rest. Benji flipped through the pages. "I can't believe you kept this." "I kept everything," Zoran said. "Earth changed me. It made me love art, sound, stories. It made me love being alive." Benji looked up. "Is that why you took the customs job?" Zoran nodded. "Yes. I wanted to be close to Earth again. I hoped maybe I'd see someone from my past. And then last week I saw your name on the arrival list." Benji was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. "Well, here I am." Zoran beamed. "And now that you're here, I want to finish what we started." "The song?" "Yes, but not just the song. I've been working on a project. Something big." Zoran went to another room and returned with a small silver cube. He pressed a button and the cube unfolded into a holographic image. It showed a small stage floating above a crowd of aliens. "I signed us up for Galactic Cultural Night," Zoran said. Benji blinked. "What's that?" "It's a music and art event held every cycle. Different species perform, show their culture, tell their stories. Earth has never joined before. But now that you're here, we can do it." Benji shook his head. "Wait, you want us to play music? On stage? In front of aliens?" Zoran nodded. "Yes, we'll perform our song, show the galaxy what Earth feels like." Benji looked nervous. "I haven't played guitar in years." "I can help. I've got practice rooms, instruments, even backup sounds." Benji sighed. "This is wild, but okay. Let's do it." Zoran jumped up, excited. "Yes, you won't regret this." As the night continued, the two old friends sat together, working on their song under the soft lights of Arian 12. Notes filled the air. Some familiar, some new. Earth and Velmora, human and alien, blending into music. In the middle of the station, in a tiny apartment, a forgotten friendship was coming back to life. And across the galaxy, something was beginning to stir. Something beautiful, emotional, and very, very human. Every day for the next week, Benji visited Zoran's apartment after his diplomatic meetings. The galaxy's rules, planets, and politics were all confusing, but the time he spent with Zoran made everything feel clear again. They practiced music in a small room filled with instruments. Some looked normal, like guitars and keyboards. Others were glowing, floating, or made of glass that sang when touched. Benji couldn't believe how much Zoran remembered from Earth. The alien played Earth chords with 6 fingers and added strange, but beautiful alien sounds that echoed like stars singing. "You really never forgot any of this, did you?" Benji asked one night after practice. Zoran shook his head. "No, Earth lives in my heart. I remember every sound, every smell, even how the school hallway smelled like wet shoes and old sandwiches." Benji laughed. "That's very accurate." Zoran smiled. "You know, you once made a promise in high school." "I did?" "Yes. You said one day we'll start a band, even if it's on another planet." Benji blinked. He didn't remember saying that. But it sounded like something he might say as a joke. "I didn't know you took that seriously," Benji said. "I did," Zoran replied quietly. "It gave me hope when I left Earth." Benji looked at Zoran, really looked. There was something gentle and honest in the way he spoke. Even after all these years, he had held on to that one line. It meant something to him. "I guess I'm glad I'm finally keeping that promise," Benji said. Zoran's eyes lit up like twin moons. They returned to their song. "Don't forget the stars." The chorus, mixed English and soft Velmorian, tones that sounded like wind chimes in the rain. Benji played guitar while Zoran added soft beats from a glowing orb that changed colors with each sound. Suddenly, Zoran stopped and looked serious. "There's something else," he said. "Something I haven't told you yet." Benji raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" "I've been letting more aliens visit Earth," Zoran said. "Artists, musicians, dancers. They're not all approved by the Council. Some came quietly, through special permissions I created." Benji's eyes widened. "That's not legal, right?" Zoran looked down. "I know, but I wanted them to feel what I felt, to walk on Earth, hear its music, eat real ice cream. I wanted them to understand the beauty of your world." Benji leaned back. He didn't know what to say. Zoran had broken. Rules, yes, but for a reason that felt pure and good. "Why tell me now?" Benji asked. "Because once we perform at Galactic Cultural Night, people will start asking questions. They'll want to know where the music came from, and if they find out I bent the rules..." "They might punish you," Benji said, finishing the sentence. Zoran nodded slowly. Benji was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "What if the performance is so good they forgive you? What if they see what you were trying to do?" Zoran looked hopeful. "Do you really think that could happen?" Benji stood up. "I do, but we have to give it everything. We're not just playing for fun. We're playing for understanding, for friendship, and maybe even forgiveness." Zoran smiled. "Then, let's make it the best performance in the galaxy." The night before the event, the whole station was buzzing. Posters and floating signs advertised Galactic Cultural Night in every language. Crowds gathered wearing clothes from different worlds, humming with excitement. Backstage, Benji and Zoran waited for their turn. Benji wore a jacket made of earth denim mixed with soft alien fabric that shimmered when he moved. Zoran wore a glowing scarf from Velmora that sparkled like stardust. Benji peeked through the curtain. A giant audience of aliens filled the floating seats. Some had wings, others had fins, many had never seen a human before. "Are you nervous?" Zoran asked. "A little," Benji admitted. "Okay, maybe a lot." Zoran placed a hand on Benji's shoulder. "No matter what happens, I'm glad we did this together." Benji nodded. "Me too." The lights dimmed. A voice announced, "Next up, Earth and Velmora, performing together for the first time." A soft cheer rose from the crowd as Benji and Zoran stepped onto the stage. The lights above formed the shape of Earth and Velmora spinning in the sky. The instruments floated into place. Benji took a deep breath, looked at Zoran, and began to play the first chord. The song started soft, like a memory. Benji's voice was clear and honest. "Even if I leave, I'll still hum your name." Zoran added harmonies in his own language. Their voices blended like two stars circling each other. The chorus rose. "Don't forget the stars we saw, even when we're far apart. Home is not a place or land. It's where you leave your heart." The crowd was silent at first, watching, listening, feeling. Then something magical happened. The lights above them changed color with the music. Small floating lights danced in the air like fireflies. By the end of the song, some aliens were swaying. Others were recording with blinking devices. And then the final line. "So if you ever miss the Earth, just listen to this song." Silence. Then applause, soft at first, then louder, stronger, like a wave of sound. The stage shook slightly from the force of it. Benji looked at Zoran, who looked back with shining eyes. They had done it. As they left the stage, other performers clapped for them. Some even reached out to shake hands, or tentacles. A representative from the Galactic Council approached. She was tall, with glowing skin and a crown of soft leaves. "That was beautiful," she said. "Thank you," Benji said politely. She looked at Zoran. "We will need to talk. Soon." Zoran nodded calmly. "I understand." But there was no anger in her voice, only curiosity. Benji and Zoran returned to their dressing room, hearts still beating fast. "We did it," Zoran whispered. Benji smiled. "You kept your promise. You brought Earth to the stars." The news of Benji and Zoran's performance spread across the space station like sunlight through open windows. Clips of their song, "Don't Forget the Stars," appeared on screens and glowing panels in every hallway of Arian 12. Aliens of all shapes and sizes stopped to listen. Many had never heard Earth music before. They didn't understand the words, but they felt something deep inside, a kind of warmth, like a memory they didn't know they had. In the food halls, small groups started humming the tune while eating. At the station gardens, a Velmorian painter added the lyrics to a floating art piece. Even the cleaning bots played soft versions of the song while they worked. Benji didn't expect any of this. He walked through the station in awe. Everywhere he went, someone recognized him. "You are the human who sang about home," said a tall bird-like alien with blue feathers. "I liked the part about hearts," added a jellyfish-shaped creature, gently glowing. Zoran, too, was surprised by the response. "I thought a few people might clap," he said, "but this is more than I ever dreamed." They were invited to perform again, this time on the central stage, the biggest platform on Arian 12. It was called the Interstellar Gig, a concert that only happened once a year. Most of the time, only famous galactic artists performed there, but this time, the Union wanted something different. "We want Earth to sing again," said the event director, a round being made entirely of soft lights. Benji felt nervous. "We only have one song." "Then write another," Zoran said with a smile. The next few days were busy. Benji and Zoran worked on a new song, one that told a bigger story, not just about high school and friendship, but about what it meant to be human. They called it Echoes of Home. It started slow, with the sound of soft wind and distant bells. Then a simple guitar joined in, followed by Zoran's glowing sound orb. The lyrics spoke of mountains, laughter, rain on windows, and fireflies at night. Zoran added alien tones that made the song feel like it was floating through space. The chorus was gentle but powerful. "Wherever you wander, wherever you roam, let your heart carry the echoes of home." Benji wasn't sure if people would connect with it the same way, but Zoran believed. "Music speaks in ways no translator can," Zoran said. "It's not just about words, it's about feeling." The day of the interstellar gig arrived. The central stage was in the heart of the station, under a giant dome filled with stars that moved in real time. Thousands of aliens gathered, sitting on floating seats or hovering platforms. Some even came from nearby stations just to attend. Benji stood backstage, breathing slowly. "This is bigger than a school talent show," he joked. Zoran smiled. "You'll be fine. Just play from your heart." As they walked onto the stage, the crowd grew quiet. Soft lights glowed in the air, waiting. Benji looked around. It was hard to believe. Just a few weeks ago, he was packing for his first space trip. Now he was about to sing to the galaxy. He strummed the first chord. The crowd leaned in. Zoran tapped the orb, adding a deep sound that echoed like space itself. Benji began to sing. His voice was calm and warm, like a gentle story told late at night. The lyrics painted pictures of Earth, trees moving in the wind, kids playing in fields, songs playing on radios during long car rides. Zoran added soft harmonies. His alien language flowed with the melody, and somehow it felt like it belonged. The crowd didn't make a sound, but not because they were bored. They were listening with their full hearts. When the chorus came, the lights above changed color, just like during their first performance. "Wherever you wander, wherever you roam, let your heart carry the echoes of home." By the time the last note faded, some aliens were holding hands. Others had closed their eyes. One was gently floating, surrounded by a soft glow. And then the crowd stood. A sea of beings, rising in silence, then bursting into applause, cheers, and whistles in every sound a species could make. Benji looked at Zoran. They had done it again. Backstage, a message waited for them. It was from the Galactic Council. Zoran opened it with shaking hands. The message said, "Zoran Velmora, your performance showed the true meaning of peaceful connection between worlds. The Council has reviewed your actions. Though you broke rules, your purpose was noble. You are officially pardoned. We invite you to help lead the New Earth Cultural Exchange Program." Signed, High Speaker of the Council. Benji gasped. "You're pardoned and promoted?" Zoran could hardly speak. "They want me? To help Earth?" Benji clapped him on the back. "You earned it." Zoran laughed, a happy sound that echoed through the hallway. "This is better than cafeteria pizza." Benji smiled. Almost. Later that night, the two friends sat on a quiet balcony of the station, looking out at the stars. Zoran held a small Earth snow globe in his hand. Inside, tiny fake snow fell on a little model of Jefferson High School. "I kept this too," he said. "From the gift shop near your school." Benji chuckled. "I forgot that place even existed." Zoran looked at the globe and then at Benji. "You know," he said, "they say humans are simple creatures. Loud, messy, emotional." Benji raised an eyebrow. "They're not wrong. But they also say," Zoran continued, "that humans feel deeply, that they make small things matter, that they carry home with them, even in far places." Benji looked at the stars. "Maybe that's what makes us special." Zoran nodded. "Maybe that's what makes you unforgettable." Benji Flores was now more than just Earth's first diplomat in the Galactic Union. He had become something else, a bridge between two worlds. A week had passed since the interstellar gig, and people across the station were still talking about it. New songs from Earth were now played in cafes, space taxis, and even in floating schools. Aliens had started learning Earth instruments, and some even tried to sing in English. Zoran had become a star, but not because he was famous. It was because he had shown the galaxy something new, the human way of feeling, remembering, and connecting. Now, Zoran had a new job. The Council had given him the title Earth Cultural Liaison. That meant he would help teach aliens about Earth's culture and help humans learn about other worlds too. But Benji knew there was still one more thing to ask. So that evening, he visited Zoran's apartment again. The door opened with a soft hum, and Zoran greeted him with his usual big smile. "Benji, come in. I made tea. It smells like the air after rain on Earth." Benji sat on the couch and took a sip. It really did taste like a rainy afternoon back home. "I wanted to talk," Benji said. "About something you told me before." Zoran tilted his head. "What is it?" "You said you let aliens visit Earth without full permission. Secret visits. You risked your job, your place here, your future." Zoran nodded slowly. Benji leaned forward. "Why? What was the real reason you did it?" Zoran looked at the window for a long moment. Stars floated outside like tiny lanterns. Then he spoke quietly. "I missed Earth," he said. "But more than that, I wanted others to understand what it gave me." Benji listened closely. "I was born on a planet where emotions are quiet. We don't hug. We don't laugh loudly. We don't sing out loud. That's just how it is. Peaceful, yes, but empty. When I came to Earth, everything changed. People smiled at strangers. Music played in stores. Children danced in the streets. It was loud and strange, but it felt alive." He paused, then added, "After I returned, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I remembered the sound of lockers closing, the taste of soda, the way you shared your fries with me without asking why." Benji smiled. "That's what friends do." Zoran nodded. "I wanted others to feel that, so I started letting artists, writers, and students visit Earth. Just a few at first. I gave them false jobs, small names, quiet entries. They stayed for short times, but they always came back changed." Benji was quiet for a moment, then said, "And no one ever found out." "Some suspected, but no one reported me. I think, deep down, they were curious too." Benji looked thoughtful. "So all of this, our performance, your new job, it started with one thing. Missing home." Zoran nodded. "Yes, and keeping a promise." Benji raised an eyebrow. "The band?" "No," Zoran said with a grin. "The other promise, the one I made to myself, that if I ever had the chance, I'd tell the galaxy how special humans are. How simple things, like a song or a school lunch or a shared memory, can change someone forever." Benji leaned back on the couch. "Well, you did it." Zoran looked proud but peaceful. "No, we did it." The next day, a small ceremony was held in the council hall. Benji and Zoran stood side by side on a platform. Representatives from many planets had come to watch. Floating cameras recorded the event for every star system. The high speaker, a tall alien with glowing skin and eyes like silver moons, stepped forward. "We are gathered," she said, "to recognize the bond between Earth and Velmora, and the friendship between two beings who reminded us that art, memory, and kindness can build bridges where laws cannot." She handed Benji a medal shaped like Earth. Then she gave Zoran a scroll tied with a gold thread. "This is the beginning," she said. "May more worlds share their stories, just as these two have done." There was soft applause. No fireworks, no music, just the quiet sound of respect. Benji looked at Zoran. "Ready for our next big adventure?" Zoran grinned. "What do you have in mind?" Benji pulled out a new notebook. "Let's start a real Earth alien band. We'll tour across the galaxy, play in every space station, on every moon, in every sky city." Zoran laughed. "And call it what?" Benji thought for a second, then said, "High school reunion." Zoran burst out laughing. "Perfect." A month later, a small ship with a red and blue stripe left Arian 12. Inside it sat Benji with his guitar on his lap, and Zoran holding the sound orb. They traveled from one planet to another, performing songs that told stories of Earth and Velmora. People came from far away to hear them. Some danced, some cried. Some just sat quietly, holding hands with someone they loved. In one space cafe, a young alien asked Benji, "What is Earth really like?" Benji thought for a moment, then said, "It's like a song that gets stuck in your head, even if you don't know the words. But once you hear it, you never forget it." The alien smiled. "Then I hope I hear it one day." Back on Arion 12, in a quiet room, an old snow globe sat on a shelf. Inside, tiny fake snowflakes fell on a little model of a school. The label read, "Jefferson High School, Earth." Beside it, a small note in 2 languages. "Don't forget the stars. Benji and Zoran."